Let us now take some basic examples based on the definition of average. Here the question is, Kamlesh bought 65 books for rupees 1050 from one shop and 50 books for rupees 1020 from another. What is the average price he paid per book? So as you can see here, 65 books were bought for a total amount of 1050 and 50 books were bought for a total amount of 1020. And from this we are supposed to find out the average price that he has paid per book. So as we know from the definition, average is nothing but sum of all the elements by total number of elements. Now here, element is nothing but the price. Now here, we need to find out the sum of the price that Kamlesh has paid for all the books. That is nothing but 1050 in one shop plus 1020 in the other. So the total amount which Kamlesh has paid for these books is 1050 plus 1020. But this should be divided by the total number of books that he has bought, which is equal to 65 plus 50. So by solving this, we get 2070 divided by 115, which is equal to rupees 18. So we can say that on an average, Kamlesh has paid 18 rupees per book. So this is how we can use the definition, that is sum of all the values by total number of values to get the average value. Let us now take another example based on the definition of average. The question here is, average of 5 positive integers is 436. So for 5 positive numbers, the average is 436. The average of first 2 numbers is 344 and the average of last 2 numbers is 554. What is the third number? So we are supposed to find out the third number out of the given 5 numbers. Now, let us look at the first point here. The average of 5 positive integers is 436. Now, we know that when the average is given to us, we can find out the sum as average into the number of elements. So here, the sum of first 5 numbers, that is A plus B plus C plus D plus E. Let us assume these are the 5 numbers, can be taken as average 436 into the number of elements, that is 5. Which will be equal to 2180. We then know that average of first 2 numbers is 344. So let us assume the average of first 2 numbers A plus B is 344. So from that we can say that the sum of A and B should be average 344 into the number of elements, that is nothing but 2 elements here, which will be equal to 688. And the average of last 2 numbers is 554. The last 2 numbers, that is D and E, their sum can be taken as average 554 into 2, as there are 2 elements D and E. So this will come out to be 1108. Now we are supposed to find out the third number, that is nothing but C. Now from the second statement we know what is A plus B, and from the third statement we know what is D plus E. So by substituting these 2 values in the first equation, we can say that 688 plus C plus 1108 should be equal to 2180. So from this, C will be equal to 2180 minus 688 minus 1108, and this comes out to be 384. So we can say that the third number should be equal to 384. So this is how we can use the formula, that is sum equals to average into number of elements, in finding out the third element here. But friends, if you are clear with the concept of average, this question can directly be solved without writing all these steps. We can simply say that the total of 5 numbers, that is 436 into 5, should be equal to the total of first 2 numbers, 2 into 344 plus the third number C, and the total of last 2 numbers, that is 2 into 554. And by solving this, we get C is equals to 384. The idea behind this solution is same as what we have done here in the previous case, but the only difference is we have cut short the number of steps while solving the question here. So we can simply solve this question without writing all the steps in one simple equation. Let us now discuss one more example based on the basic idea of average. The question here is, average temperature of first 3 days is 27 degrees and next 3 days is 29 degrees. if the average of the whole week is 28.5 degrees, what is the temperature of the last day? So here, as we can see, the average temperature of first 3 days, the next 3 days, and the average of the whole week is given to us. And from that, we are supposed to find out the average temperature of the last day. Now, it is obvious that the sum of the temperatures of the whole week should be balanced on both the sides. Let us try to solve this question by balancing the sum of the temperatures of the whole week. Now, as we know that the average temperature of the whole week is 28.5, we can say that the total temperature of all the days in the week should be 7 into 28.5, and this should be equal to the total of the first 3 days, that is nothing but average into number of days, 27 into 3, plus the total temperature of next 3 days, that is nothing but 29 into 3, plus the temperature of the last day. Let us take it as T. So by solving this equation, we can say that T should be equal to 7 into 28.5 minus 27 into 3 minus 29 into 3. On solving this, we get the answer as 31.5 degrees. So we can say that the temperature of the last day should be 31.5 degrees. So friends, as you can see in this example, the temperature of one of the days can be calculated simply by balancing the sum of all the temperatures on both the sides. Or we can say that the value of any of the elements from the given set of elements can be calculated simply by balancing the total of all the values on both the sides.